Hello, Rainier. My name is Chelsea, and I am going to be your yoga instructor. And so, what to expect from this practice? It'll be about 30 to 40 minutes, and it will be, I would say, more of like a beginner's focus. So, if you have not done yoga before, or maybe only a couple of times, I'll move you through a variety of shapes, but there won't be a lot of like up and down, all that kind of stuff. So the instructions will be very clear. We'll start on the ground, make our way up to standing, hang out there for a little bit, make our way back down, and then end in relaxation. So it should be very, very nice for you. So today's focus will be on balance. And the reason for that is a lot of us are experiencing a lot of changes, shifts externally, internally, and because of that, we're having to adjust. So some of you, all of you, may be working from home, and that sounds all fine and good, but then you throw in the fact that you have to be the headmaster to the virtual school that your students are now attending. Or just a variety of different situations. So we all are kind of in it together and we're rediscovering how to build our balance in our new normal. So with all of that said, let's make our way to our mats, rug, wherever you are, and come all the way down onto your back. So rolling down slowly. Ah, it's already so nice to be down here. So you're going to bend your knees and then ground your feet down. And if you want, you can walk your feet out a little bit wider and just allow your knees to fall in towards the center. And bring your arms by your sides. And start to relax your lower back down into your mat. And look straight up to the ceiling. If you want, you can close your eyes. And so it's very common in a yoga class to start in a shape that's very relaxing. And the purpose of that is to begin to focus on the present moment. So not getting too caught up in thinking about the past or the tasks that you need to do once you're done with yoga, but instead connecting with your body as it is right here, right now. So notice the points of contact underneath you, underneath your feet, your lower back, your mid back, upper back. Relax your shoulders a little bit more and your head. And then begin to notice your breath. Are you breathing in and out through your nose? Are you breathing in your nose, out your mouth? Like just become aware. And then close your lips and just start breathing in and out through your nose. Notice where you feel your breath. And let's start here, bringing balance to our body through the breath. So try on inhaling to the count of 4. Pause at the top of your inhalation, and then exhale to the count of 4, then pause at the bottom. And try that a few times. So by making the breath even, it's a way that we can calm our nervous system. Take another round. And with each exhalation, relaxing deeper down into your mat. And take a deep breath in, hold your breath at the top, and then open your mouth, sigh out as you exhale. And start breathing in and out through your nose, and we'll start to incorporate some movement with our breath. So walk your feet back in a little bit so they're in line with your hips. And then ground down your lower back into your mat. Press down into your feet, and then reach your arms overhead. So stretch. And then on an inhale, lift your hips up and then lower your arms forward by your sides. And then as you exhale, lower the hips down, reach overhead. So coordinating breath and movement. Inhale, lift the hips, reach the arms forward. Exhale, lower the hips, arms reach overhead. Let's do that one more time. Inhale, lift the hips, starting to warm up the legs. Exhale, slowly lower down, reach. Now bring your arms by your sides and then bend your elbows at a 90 degree and then fan your fingers out wide. And then lift your hips up once again. We're going to kind of level up the intensity here. So lift up your right knee. So really grounding down through your left heel. Hold and keep breathing. And then lower slowly your right foot down. Lift up your left knee. Just bringing the knee over the hip. Okay, lower your left foot down slowly. And then just begin to alternate. So right leg lifts and lowers. Left leg lifts and lowers. Trying to keep the hips lifted as you march. Side to side. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lift your hips up and then lower them down. Stretch your arms out side to side like the letter T. And then take a breath in. And then inhale, lower your knees. Exhale, lower your knees over to the right. Inhale back to center. And then exhale, using your core, lower the knees over to the left. Inhale, lift the knees. Exhale, lower to the right slowly. Inhale, knees through center. Exhaling to the left. And then one more time each way. Inhale. Exhale to the right. Inhale, lift. And then exhale, lower over to the left. Very, very nice. Then bring the knees back up. And then hug your knees into your chest. You can grab onto the backs of your thighs, or you can wrap your arms over your shins, clasping the fingers. And then relax your head and neck and your shoulders. And take in one breath in, and then a breath out. And start rocking side to side. So this is going to massage your lower back. And eventually rolling on to one side, and then pressing up into a seated position. And I'm going to face forward towards the camera. You can face any way that you like. So sitting in a cross-legged seat. Another option, if this is uncomfortable for you, is you can sit in a chair. So you can bring a chair right next to your mat and try that out, especially if you feel like your knees are like way up to your ears and your back is hunching over. Try sitting in a chair. All right, no matter where you are, rest your hands onto the tops of your knees. And we just take a moment to become aware of our posture. It's very common for us to arch our shoulders forward, drop the chin down. So bring the shoulders over the hips, loop the shoulders up towards the ears, and then back and down. It's really broadening through your collarbones. And then slightly tuck your chin, lengthening through the back of your neck. Lovely. What if we sat like this all the time? That'd be crazy. Okay, so we're going to come into a little spinal series, starting first with a seated cat-cow. So with your hands on your knees where they are already, and if you're in the chair, you're doing the same. And then inhale, lift your heart up, look up to the ceiling as much as your neck will permit. And on your exhale, round your spine, tuck your chin. Inhale, look up, lift the heart. Exhale, curve your back. Make space in between your shoulder blades. One more time, each way. Inhale. Exhale. Cool. Now sit up straight, and we'll move the spine from side to side. So bring your right hand down. You can prong up onto your fingertips beside you, and then extend your left arm up towards the ceiling and relax your shoulders down your back. And then on your next inhalation, reach up taller, and then exhale, reaching overhead. So you can leave your eyes facing forward. You also can look up to your top arm, and you want to breathe space into your left side ribs. And so in yoga, we use our breath to develop or grow the shapes that we take. So try it on by inhaling, lifting up an inch, and then your exhale, elongate, reaching further overhead, maybe an inch and a half more. Try that 2 more times. Inhale, exhale, keeping both hips grounded down evenly. Breath in, and then reach. And then slowly come back up to center. And then the left hand goes down. Reach the right arm up, and then turn your palm to face towards the center. And then lift up from the ground to the ceiling, and then reach overhead. So seated half moon. So your palms facing down, gaze can go up towards the ceiling. So you're kind of rotating your heart slightly up. Then take a breath in, lengthen. Exhale, deepen into the stretch, maybe reaching further over. 2 more times. Inhale. Exhale. 1 more inhale. And then exhale, reach over. Very nice. Come back to center. Okay, so we move the spine forward, back, side to side. Time to twist. So take your left hand, cross over to your right knee, and then bring your right hand behind you. And again, we need to sit up straight first. So take a breath in, and then on your exhale, rotate from your mid-back. Take your time. You don't want to force yourself into any of these shapes. You're welcome to look over your back shoulder and take 3 deep breaths in and out through your nose. Perhaps noticing on each exhalation, you're able to rotate a little bit more. And then release, and then switch out your hands. So cross the right hand over to the left knee, left hand goes behind you, sit up straight, inhale, and then rotate. And for me, yoga is learning to listen, how to listen to your body. So it's always communicating with you something, whether it's like, ow, that hurts, or something more subtle. So tune in and just begin to respond to what your body's communicating. So take another breath in, and then rotate a little bit more. And maybe your body's like, hey, that's painful or uncomfortable. Then you can back off a little bit. And if you can go deeper, then by all means, go for it. Come back to center. Rest the hands on the knees. Take a breath in and a breath out. You're doing great. So we're going to come over into a tabletop position. So you're going to bring your hands underneath your shoulders. Spread your fingers out wide, fingertips facing towards 12 o'clock. And then your knees, check them out. They're underneath your hips. And then press the tops of your feet down into your mat. You can also tuck your toes, so your knees will let you know which one you should do. I prefer my toes untucked. Okay, so from here, we're going to take our first balancing shape. So it's called spinal balance. So we're going to extend the right leg back. So you have the option to lift your heel in line with your hip. You can also bring your toes down. So you can try that, still lifting our navel up towards our spine, so your lower belly is engaged. Your eyes looking straight down to your mat. If you like, you can extend your left arm forward, palm facing towards the center of your mat. Again, so the right leg can be lifted or lowered. And same thing, this is another option. Bring the toes down, the fingertips down, and you'll still get the benefit of the shape. So take 3 more deep breaths. If you feel a little wobbly here, then hug into your center line. So hugging your skin to your muscle, to your bones. And then lower the hand and the foot. Maybe roll out that right wrist. And then bring it back down. All right, let's extend our left leg back. Flex your toes down. Again, the toes can stay connected down to your mat, or the heel can be lifted. You can walk your right hand forward, staying on your fingertips, or you can lift your hand up in line with your shoulder. Look down at your mat. So we're trying to balance over our mat, leveling the shoulders and the hips. Take 3 deep breaths. 2. And then 1. Lower down. Very nice. Good job. So we're going to ground down through the left hand. And then take your left foot out over to the left slightly. So we're going to come into a modified side plank. So extend your right leg back and then reach your right arm up. Yep, very, very nice. Look up to your top thumb. Yeah, so we're balancing our right side body over our left side body. If you want, you can lift up your right leg and then flex your toes. Look up to your top thumb. And don't hold your breath. You can even try to count as you breathe, inhaling to 4, pausing, exhaling to 4, pausing. But if you're just learning these shapes, then just remember to breathe. All right, now press down through your bottom hand, lift up, breathe in, and then bring the foot down. Right hand comes down, and we'll come back to tabletop, and we'll just rotate onto the opposite side. So right foot shifts out, ground down through the right hand, extend the left leg back, and then stack left over right, reach up. Stay here or lift up your back leg. Flex your toes. Take 3 deep breaths. Okay, lower, back down slowly. And then we're going to move into downward facing dog. So walk your hands forward a little bit, and we won't be here very long. So you tuck your toes under, and we're going to make like a triangle shape with our body. So you lift your hips up and back, press through your hands, and then look in between your toes, and then take 3 breaths. 2, and then 1. So we're going to walk our hands to our feet, feet to our hands. We'll come into a forward fold. So your feet are out a little bit wider than your hips. Toes are facing towards 12 o'clock. Soften your knees a good bit. If you like, you can grab on the opposite elbows and then relax the crown of your head down to your mat. So you're welcome to have your knees bent a lot, or you can work on straightening them. And then balance the weight in your feet evenly from front to back. So maybe shifting some weight forward into the balls of your feet, into your toes. Relax your neck and your head. Then release your elbows and then walk your feet in a little bit just so that your toes are underneath your hips. And then slide your hands to your shins and then come into a flat back. Yep. Squeeze your shoulder blades together And then guide the shoulder blades down the back towards your hips. And then bring your hands to your hips and slowly rise up with your knees bent. Nice. So I'm going to face towards you. We're going to come into mountain pose, which just means you're standing. So we all can do this, right? So bring your feet first underneath your hips, toes facing forward. Okay. So looking at your toes, what I want you to do is just lift them off of the mat. Yep. And then press down through your feet. So grounding down through the four corners of both feet, and then spread your toes out onto your mat. So notice the space that you just created in your feet. Bring your hands by your sides. Yeah. Just being grateful for your toes. If you didn't have your toes, life would be a lot more difficult. Balance would be even more of a challenge. So thank you, toes. And then just notice how you're distributing weight into your feet. So maybe rock side to side, little front to back, and then try to find your weight evenly distributed front to back and side to side. So finding that magic middle. Nice. So now we have that grounding, that stability in our feet. Hug your outer shins in. I'm about to give you a lot of cues. And then engage the top sides of your legs, your quadriceps. And so you'll maybe notice a little bit of lift in your kneecaps. All right, bring your hands to your hips. A lot of us like stick our tailbone out behind us. So we want our pelvis to be neutral. So point your tailbone down. So that's going to lift the front of your hips up towards your ribs. Again, so you might feel your lower belly engaging. And again, hands by your sides, palms facing forward. Take a breath in and a breath out. Inhale, loop your shoulders up and then back and down as you exhale. And then ground down through your feet, grow an inch taller through the crown of your head. And on your exhale, slightly tuck your chin. Yeah. Spread your fingers out. One more breath in and a breath out. And bring your right hand to your hip, reach your left arm up, breath in. And on your exhale, extend over to the right. Inhale, come back to center, left hand to left hip. Exhale, ground through the feet. On your next inhale, reach your right arm up. Exhale, reach overhead. Then inhale, reach both arms up, send the hips forward, shoulders back, a little back bend. And on your exhale, bring your hands to your heart, press your thumb knuckles into your chest. Yeah, pressing palm into palm, like engaging your arms. Nice. And then release. So we're going to take some of our standing shapes now, because here we are. So starting at the front of our mat, so the feet are right underneath the hips. And then place the hands on the hips. Shift your weight into your right foot. So we're going to slowly lift the left knee up in line with the left hip. Flex your left toes. Squeeze the shoulder blades, lifting the heart, lift through the crown of the head. Then we're going to step back into a lunge. So left leg goes back. So here, you want to make sure that if you're feeling a little wobbly, that your feet are on railroad tracks, so they're like standing on opposite parallel lines, versus like on a tightrope, because then we'll be less stable. So we want to create a strong foundation first. So bending forward in your front knee, not going over the ankle, and then lifting your back heel to stack over your toes, hips and shoulders facing forward. And then from your foundation, reach up through your arms, fingertips towards the ceiling, and then relax the shoulders down the back. You can always just leave your hands at your heart or down onto your hips. Just kind of deciding what works best for you. Maybe noticing a little bit of heat collecting in your right thigh. And then we're going to transition into Warrior 3. So if you're not already, bring your hands to your chest, pressing into prayer. And then lead with your heart And slowly begin to slide up your back foot. I was taking my mat with me. And then lifting off. So you can leave your back toes grounded. And you're also have the option of shifting your heart forward, maybe making the letter T with your body, or really anywhere in between. And then holding your shape for 3 breaths. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. And then come into tree pose. I'm going to turn towards you so you can see it. So bring your left foot into your right leg. So your heel can come towards your ankle and have your toes grounded down. Or you can bring your left foot onto your calf. You can lift up the leg and then place the foot on the right inner thigh. Yeah, and you notice your right foot is making all these little tiny adjustments to hold you up. Yeah, so balance isn't static, it's fluid. Grow an inch taller through the crown of your head. Stay there. I'm going to rotate back to where I was. And then step your left foot back. We're kind of going to take triangle pose. So we're going to open up towards the left side of our mat and look down at your feet. Again, we want to start with a foundation that's strong. So your front heel is going to intersect the arch of your back foot. And your back toes are going to face towards the long edge of your mat. Front toes still at 12 o'clock. And then reach your arms out to a T. Spread your fingers out and then reach forward. And then rest your right hand onto your shin or down onto your mat. Lift your left arm up. This is called triangle. Look at your top thumb. This is strengthening your legs. It's stretching out your lower back. I can feel it particularly where my ribs and my hips connect together. And breathe slowly in and out through your nose. Come back up using your core. Reach your arms apart. Look towards the front of your mat. And then bring your hands to your hips. And then step up to the top of your mat. Very, very nice. And we'll reset for the opposite side. So the feet underneath the hips. Shift the weight into the left foot. And then we're going to lift up the right knee in line with the hip. Flex your toes. And then we're going to step back into crescent lunge. So try to just go as slowly as you can. And then resting the right toes down. And then setting up your feet. Remember, they're on the railroad tracks. So we have more stability. Bend your knee, but not over your ankle. Back heel stacks over the toes. Hips, shoulders facing forward. And then choose what you want to do with your arms. You can reach them overhead, by your sides, on your hips. Then bring your hands to your heart. Press your thumb knuckles into your chest. And then take a breath in. And your exhale, lean forward and then begin to slide your right foot up. We'll come into warrior 3. So again, you can float that right foot off of the mat, shifting your weight forward as like a counterbalance. And flex your right toes down towards your mat and make sure the hips are closed over the mat. And slowly lift back up and we'll turn this into tree. So bring your right foot into your right leg. And so you want to take the same variation that you did on the opposite side. Another way that we can create balance in our body from right to left. So press your right foot into your leg and then press your left leg into your foot. Grow an inch taller, breathe in. Exhale, ground the shoulders down the back. And then we'll step the right foot back into our triangle stance. So now we're going to open the hip and shoulders towards the right edge of the mat. And then again, we want our left toes facing forward. Heel intersects the inner arch of the back foot. Right toes are facing towards the long edge of the mat. All right, reach the arms up in opposite directions, stretching them apart as you relax the shoulders down. Look over your front hand. Soft gaze. Breathe in, reach forward. And then on your exhale, lower the hand down to the shin or the mat, and then lift your right arm up. Spread the fingers out. You don't want to you don't want to slump into these shapes. You want to elongate, stretch, and strengthen. Notice the sensations that you feel in your body right now and just be with them without judgment. And slowly lift back up, reach the hands in opposite directions, and then bring your hands to your hips and step all the way up to the front of your mat. Very, very nice. And we'll make our way down to the mat. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, bring your hands through your heart and forward fold down. Inhale, lift up halfway, hands to your shins. And then come to your hands and then on to your knees. And we'll take a modified plank. Get my hair out of the way. So bring the knees back a little bit and shift your weight forward so your shoulders stack over your hips. And just holding here, lifting your navel up towards your spine. And just notice if your hips are sinking down, lift them up. And you can stay here or you can take 5 push-ups. So lowering down for 5 and lifting. 4, 3, 2, 1, and then lower all the way onto your mat. Bring your chin down and bring your hands underneath your shoulders, untuck your toes. Squeeze your shoulders towards your rib cage and then press through your hands. And this is called cobra. So it's a back bend. Keep your chin tucked so the back of your neck is long. Press more into the roots of your fingers. Bring your shoulders down your back. Breathe in, lift up a little bit higher, and then lower down. Rest your chin, and then bring your hands by your sides. We'll take locust. So this is another back bend, strengthening the back side of your body. So first by lifting your chin, and then your shoulders. So you can stay here. If you want, you can lift up the feet, pressing the balls of your feet towards the back of your mat. If you want, you can lift up your hands, pointing your fingers towards the back of your mat, and then take 5 deep breaths. And then lower down. So it's really fun. Now we're going to move into child's pose. So bring your hips back, spread your knees out. Your toes are together, and then walk your hands forward. So you can prop up onto your forearms. You can stretch the hands all the way and rest the forehead down. So you might have just heard my neighbors outside. So I know a lot of us are having virtual meetings, Zoom meetings, and something inevitably goes wrong, right? The dog walks in, the kids yell, the mailman comes. But it's just kind of coming with the territory. And again, that's a part of our new normal. So just take a moment, child's pose, stretching out your hips, stretching out. For me, I really feel it in my lats, the sides of my torso. And take a breath in and a slow exhale out. We're going to lift up. I'm going to come onto our seat. Ta-da, like so. Bring your feet forward in front of you. We'll come into boat. So you're going to grab onto the backs of your thighs and you're just going to shift back. So we're going to balance on our sits bones. So that's something that yoga teachers say a lot, ground down through your sits bone. So it's basically just the bottom tips of your pelvis. And so if you rock side to side, you probably can feel them, right? So we're going to balance on those and then squeeze your shoulder blades together. And if you want, you can really balance on them by lifting your feet up. So you can bring your feet, you can bring them to a hover, or lift them in line with the knees or all the way up. So squeeze your lower belly on your exhalations. You can also reach the hands forward. We'll hold for 5 breaths. Very nice. Now lower the feet back down. All right, so we'll stretch the arms forward, and then we'll lower all the way, one vertebrae at a time, starting with the lower back. Boom. The middle of your back, and then your upper back. And then relax. I'll shimmy down a little bit, so my hips are about the halfway point. And we'll take an inversion. So that just means getting the feet up over the heart. So extend both legs up towards the ceiling. An option here, if this is uncomfortable, you can bring your legs up against a wall. Like if there's a wall right here. And then reach your arms up, grounding the shoulders down. Just begin to rotate the wrists and the ankles. Just remembering to breathe. And then rotate in the opposite direction. Just kind of freestyle. And then chill. Bring your arms by your sides and leave your legs lifted. Spread your toes out. Lovely. Now bring your feet back down. And we'll come into a spinal twist. So first, extending your left leg forward. Relax your left leg. And then hug your right knee into your chest, bringing your knee towards your right armpit. And then, there's going to be lots of lefts and rights. Take your left hand, grab onto your right knee, and then guide your knee over to the left. So you may want to shift your hips. So I'm going to bring my hip underneath, left hip underneath my right. And you can reach your right arm out and look over to the right. So you don't want to just give up over into the left side. So keep the shoulders grounded, and wherever your knee lands in the opposite direction, just let it chill. And then we'll come back to center. So take tree pose, but now on our backs. So bring your right knee out to the right and just hands by your sides. So if you found tree pose earlier, standing on one foot a little bit frustrating, then just enjoy this tree where you're supported by your mat. It's really common for balancing to be frustrating. So as you have been discovering balance in your life, you might have had some moments where you've been kind of frustrated. So just becoming aware of how we're feeling in situations is really important. So if you notice that, then with that awareness, you can make the changes that you want to make. Then you're empowered. And straighten your right leg, bring your left knee in, hug it towards your left armpit. And then twist. So left knee is going to go over to the right, stacking left hip on top of left. You use your right hand to guide the knee down, further over, and then reaching your left arm out. And then you can look over to your left thumb. Okay, come back through center and then allow your left knee to open up towards the left side. So taking tree on our backs, bring your arms by your sides, palms facing up, and then take a deep breath in and a relaxing sigh out. And then we'll come into our relaxation. So extend both legs long, bring your feet out towards the long edges of your mat, and just allow your feet to open up on right to the left, just as they fall naturally. Lengthen your spine, rest your hands, again, palms facing up. And if you like, you can close your eyes. So you stay here. I'm going to sit up, and I'm going to lead you through a guided body scan meditation. So what that is basically is I'm going to invite you to invite yourself to relax. So now you're no longer controlling your breath. And then bring your mind's eye to your toes. And just let your toes relax completely. Now relax the bottoms of your feet, the tops of your feet, and your ankles. And then relax your shins and your calves. And then relax your knees. Relax the backs of your thighs and the tops of your thighs and your hips. So now your lower body is completely relaxed. It feels heavy. And then bring your awareness to your lower back, allowing it to descend down closer to your mat. And just softening that area and then relaxing your mid back all the way up to your upper back. Soften the sides of your torso. And then relax your belly, your rib cage, all the way up to your collarbones. And then notice your fingertips as they gently curl in towards your wrists. And then relax your fingers, the backs of your hands, the palms of your hands, and your wrists. Relax your forearms all the way up to your elbows. Relax your upper arm bones. And relax your shoulders down. Relax the tops of your shoulders all the way up to the base of your neck. Relax the back of your neck, your throat. And then notice the weight of your head grounding down into your mat. Now relax your jaw, bringing your tongue away from the roof of your mouth. Relax your teeth and your lips. Relax your ears and your cheeks and your nose. Soften your temples. Relax your eyes deeper down into their sockets. Relax your eyelids. Relax your eyebrows and the space in between your eyebrows. Relax your forehead. And draw that last bit of relaxation all the way up to the crown of your head, so your body, from the tips of your toes all the way to the very top of your head, is completely relaxed. And just notice this feeling of stillness and peace that you've unveiled in your body. Maybe even imagining that peace going beyond the borders of your skin, expanding out into the space. And the more that we're connected with our own inner peace, then we are able to share it with others. And then begin to notice the sounds in your room or the space in which you're practicing, those that are nearby and far away. Begin to deepen your breath, starting to awaken your body from stillness. And then begin to move your fingers and wiggle your toes and rock your head from side to side. And eventually making your way into a seated position. Your eyes can still be closed, doesn't matter which way you're facing. And then take a moment to enjoy a moment of good posture. So bringing the shoulders over the hips, lifting through the crown of the head. And then bring your hands into prayer, press your thumb knuckles into your chest. And just taking a moment to be grateful for this opportunity for growth. So the challenges that you're facing, and just taking a moment to be grateful for the good that's coming out of you being stretched and pushed. And gently open up the eyes. Thank you so much for taking time. You just did something really good for yourself, and I hope you feel refreshed and rejuvenated. If you have any requests for certain styles of yoga that you would be interested in doing via Rayonier, feel free to let us know. If you have any questions, if you are interested in any private virtual sessions with the likes of me, then with all of that, feel free to reach out to me directly at Chelsea, CHELSEA, at inthehealing.com. Thank you.